Hi there, crafty friends. It's Leah, and it has said my live has started, but there's always about a 30-second delay. So I am just waiting for it to pop up on my screen, and there it is. All right. Well, welcome to another Pinkfresh Studio card making live. My name is Leah Lawson. I'm excited to be your host today. I see a lot of you already in the comments, so thanks for joining us. Looks like we have a lot of people here already. So Heather will be moderating today. She's like rushing home from an appointment, so she might just be a tad late, but she will jump on here shortly, I am sure. I see there's people that are doing some crafting with their Pinkfresh goodies, which is fantastic. Looks like Pam is here from Ramsey, Minnesota, which is nearby. And yes, we are having a cold, rainy day. It's not so windy where I'm at. Not yet, anyway. Oh, exciting. All right. Well, thanks for joining me today, friends. We're going to create a fun slimline card with our previously released Botanicals and Butterflies product suite. We got released in January. I don't know. I could be wrong. It's possible we did it on Facebook Live and I just don't remember, but I haven't done a live with it. So I'm excited to create with it live today. We're going to make a fun, really pretty feminine slimline card. Hi, Carissa. Seems like you're taking a little vacation. That's fantastic. Hi, Lori. Hi, everyone. Oh, cool. Okay, so while we are waiting for Heather to arrive, and before I flip my camera around and we get going, let's just go over our normal, usual stuff. So, of course, we love it if you give the video a thumbs up. That helps it get reach, both right now while it's live, but also on replay. So it would be fantastic if you guys could do that for us. So just give the video a thumbs up for us real quick. And then if you're new to Pinkfresh Studio Lives, welcome. We are happy you're here. We're happy that you found us. Once I get this camera flipped around, I see quite a few less comments. So, but once Heather gets here, she's good about catching them too. But no matter what, if it's your first time here or if you're new to Pinkfresh Studio, welcome. We're glad you're here. And we hope that you will stick with us and check out more of our upcoming lives in the future. All right, and then finally, we give away a $15 gift card code at the end of every live stream. So there's a couple of ways to enter your name and to win. First, underneath this, there's a little arrow button that says share right next to it. If you click on that and share it, however you want to share it, you can share it in an email with a friend. You can share it on your Facebook page. You can share it in a Facebook group, like a crafty Facebook group, as long as it's allowed. Make sure it doesn't go against the group rules. And then just come back here in the live chat and let us know that you shared. And then the other way to earn entries into the giveaway is to do just what you're doing right now. Chat with us in the chat with other people that are here watching live as well. You can ask me questions. I may not fully catch them, but once Heather arrives and is moderating in the comments, she catches a lot of what I miss. If we both miss it, we're not ignoring you. We just didn't see it. So just ask it again. Also, if you know the answer to a question, feel free to reply with it. So this is definitely meant to be a social time and a fun time of chatting amongst ourselves. So not just watching me craft. So definitely feel free to answer questions and just chat with everybody as well. So I think that's it. Heather will pick the winner at the end of the live stream and she'll tag you in the comment on how to claim your prize. Oh, good, exciting. I see some people that are excited for this live because they've purchased this, so they're going to get some inspiration. So that's super exciting. And then I think that is really everything that I have for you mostly. So we should probably get going. I should probably get the camera flipped around and we get going. And when Heather arrives, she arrives and she'll be here to moderate. I may have a message from her. Oh, she's saying YouTube won't load for her. Let me answer her real quick. Sorry, I just want to answer that. Maybe we won't have a moderator if she can't get it to work. Hopefully she can. But here's hoping that she can get it to work. Oh, I remember one thing I was going to say. All of the products that I'm using today are linked below in the video description. So I think you just have to expand it if you want to see everything. I'm actually going to look on my phone and see if for some reason it's not pulling up on my phone, if that might be the same problem that Heather is having. Oh, funny enough, I actually can't get over to the Pinkfresh Studio account via my YouTube, but here, I think I can just do that. There we go. So YouTube must be having a few issues today, but I did get it pulled up, so I will be able to see. Here's hoping Heather will be able to get on, but if not, bear with me. Chat amongst yourselves if Heather isn't able to get on to moderate. And we will just make it work. But I'm going to go ahead and get my camera flipped around. And we are going to, let me answer this question real quick. Carol is asking, when Pinkfresh runs out of dies or stamps, do we produce more or are they no longer in stock? We don't retire products for quite a long time. So we always restock. But the thing is right now is supply chain is difficult, as is shipping. So your best bet, if there is a product that you really want that's out of stock, is to sign up for a restock notification, whether it's at our online shop or whatever online shop that you prefer, because we do not know when they will arrive. So everything that we create, we reorder for a restock, but we don't have any idea when it will arrive. So just keep that in mind. All right, now I'm going to flip my camera around and it looks like Heather is also here. So yay. All right, let's get my settings dialed in here. Okay. So as I mentioned, we are going to be using the Botanicals and Butterflies product suite today. So this is a cling stamp. And the little butterflies, it's technically a pop-out cling stamp because the little butterflies can be popped out and you can stamp them separately, however you want to. I'm going to stamp it all in full today, but we love having that little option in case you wanted to make extra butterflies for your project. You don't have to do the whole branch. You can just do the butterflies and it totally works. Hi, so Gina, you made it in time. I delayed a little bit waiting for Heather to be able to join us. So now we just got to get going. So first things first, let's go ahead and grab our Misty stamping tool. Because this is a cling stamp, I am going to go ahead and pull out the foam mat because I don't need it. However, because I'm a lighter stamper, I do put a small stack of Misty paper into my Misty to just pat it a little bit and help me get a better stamp impression. Okay, so I think I can do this today on just a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch piece of cardstock. We're going to find out. If it doesn't end up stamping the way that I like it to, I'll grab a larger sheet and we'll do it that way. But I'm going to try this way to just be a little bit more frugal with paper. And I'm going to butt that in there. But first things first, I want to make sure that my cardstock is butted into the corner of that MISTI really well because I'm going to end up wanting to double stamp this, which is always a little frightening with a cling stamp. But I want to be able to get that crisp detail black image, or that, but you can't ink blend over top of that because it needs time to dry. So I'm going to be really brave. I may end up having to do what Heather had to do last week, and that is ink blend the panels really fast if they accidentally halo. But we're going to see. We're going to see how it goes. So I'm just going to use some grape dye ink from our gray selection. I'm using Rocky Slope to do the initial impression. Doesn't have to be a perfect impression because I'm going to stamp over it and hopefully keep everything aligned this time around. Thankfully, this is a 4-piece stencil set. So if I do end up haloing it, we can, it won't take too long to redo, but I think we're going to be okay. Just going to be nice and gentle. Make sure I don't move my MISTI around too much. And this is where I want to see if I get a decent impression. Sometimes for me, when cling stamps are too close to the edge, I don't get as good of impression. So sometimes I prefer to do a larger sheet of paper and stamp it right in the middle. We're going to see today. If I don't like how this turns out, we will re-stamp it. And but I think we're going to be good. So if you notice, I just keep tapping that paper and making sure that it is in the correct space. So the reason why these little butterfly tips weren't stamping in very well is they are the pop out. So I think sometimes they get a little, they're in a little, the depth is a little bit different. So, but I think we're good now. At least I have a good enough impression to get going. So this is just homemade stamp cleaner. You can find it under the FAQs on our page. And I'm just going to clean my stamp off real quick. And then we will get going on the ink blending. Let me check some comments while I am cleaning this up. Oh yes, I'm super excited. Yeah, I know Heather was masterful when she had her little stamping ups last week. Here's hoping it doesn't happen to me, but if it does, here's hoping I can be as much of a pro as Heather was last week. Okay, so hopefully this shows up fairly well. I know it's kind of a lighter shade of ink, but hopefully, or of gray, but hopefully it shows up good enough that you can see it. So I'm just gonna add a couple pieces of folded over tape to the back and tape it down to my glass mat. I'm gonna tape it. I can't zoom in, friends, so this is just the angle we have to keep. I'm gonna tape it a little more over to the side here so that we have room to put our ink pad holder so you guys can see the colors that I'm using. And then we're gonna go ahead and grab the stencils. Now for this set today, I'm going in 100% the same order that the stencils come. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. They're all, if you're new to our stencils, they are all numbered in the upper left corner. It's etched, so it's not super easy to see. You can kind of see it in the glare there. And then they do have alignment guides in each corner. Now the alignment guides are for when you're using them without the stamped image. When you're using them with the stamped image, you ignore those alignment guides and you just align them with the actual stamped image. Joanne, we don't have a stamp cleaner, actually. What we have is in our FAQs is we have a recipe for making your own. So we do not sell a stamp cleaner. So that's just a homemade stamp cleaner that I've made on my own. Debbie, yes, you can stencil first and then stamp, but probably not with a cling stamp since it is you wouldn't be able to line it up. So you can really only do that process with a clear stamp. With a cling stamp, you need to stamp first. All right, so this one, you just line up. There's lots of places to make it easy to line up. So I'm just getting it nice and aligned, and then I'm taping it down to my surface here. And I may need to do just a quick adjustment now that I've got the tape on there. Sandy, this is the We Are Memory Keepers glass media mat. You can get them in a lot of places. I think I even saw one at Michael's the other day. I think I got mine on HSN or something like that a long time ago. It was like the best place I could find, but I think they're pretty readily available now. I've just had mine forever. Okay, so we are going with pink leaves and pink and purple butterflies. So when I mentioned that this was a super feminine card, that's what I meant. Like this is very, very pinky and purple, or for anybody that just happens to love these two color families. I'm just going to go ahead and start getting the images blended in. I always blend a little deeper at the center and then fade out my ink blending towards the edge. All right. Okay. So this first stencil has leaves, but it also has some of the butterfly details. So my butterflies will be a mixture of pinks and purples. And I guess technically, actually, my branch will be too, because those little flowers, I think, end up being on a purple stencil. Debbie, when we're choosing between clear stamps and cling stamps, we look at the image, and if the image has really thin lines that we think a red rubber stamp would give you a better impression of, that's when we pick a red rubber stamp. Uh-oh. Carol can't find her ink cubes. That's not good. That's never good. All right. Just a little bit more to go here. Oh, nice, Beth. Glad to hear you just got this set. Now you'll have a little bit of inspiration for using it. All right. So there we have our first layer, stencil layer. So I'm just wiping the stencil down with a dry lint-free cloth. Once I end this live stream, I will clean the stencils off a little bit more extensively with some rubbing alcohol, but I'm not going to bore you with that. So there is our first layer for this fun image. So we are going to switch over to the next layer here. I'm going to go ahead and get that lined up. There's a lot of places that you can line this stencil up. The main one probably being the branch that goes right down the middle. Okay. I love pink leaves too, friends. Okay, so this stencil we're going to do in bubblegum, which is just the next shade up of pink. Just going to wipe off my blending brush here. Thanks, friends. All right. So let's go ahead and do this next layer. Charlotte, this is the ink pad holder. This is from our friends over at the Inkstand. If you just Google the name, the Inkstand, their website pops right up. And they have these ink pad holders for all of the different ink pad shapes that are out there. Ooh, that kind of shifted on me. Don't do that. We need to tape it down a little bit better, I guess. Yes, we love interesting color leaves over here at Pinkfresh Studio. Do we love green leaves? 100%, absolutely. But we also love to get, have some fun with our color combos and do things that are not realistic or a little outside of the norm. We think that's real fun. So not a green leaf in sight today, all pink. Let's just get this last little layer done down here. And I think we're probably good. Yep. And this piece of tape right here is giving me a little bit of fits. So I think I'm going to replace it. But here is the second layer. So we're getting there. Card is getting done here. All right, there's that. The recipe for the stamp cleaner that we use is under the FAQ section on our website. All right, let's get another piece of this out. I think that I'm at the end of this washi tape and it's older, so it's starting to fade on me, but I like to use as much of things as I can and not waste them. So we're just going to make it work. All right, so we're doing the little flower buds that are on the branch. That's going to be this next layer, and some more details to our butterflies. So let me realign that real quick. All right, so we are going to make a switch over to soft lilac. And you'd think I'd never use soft lilac, but I promise you I have. It just doesn't really look like I have. All right. And these are smaller little details, so they don't need a whole lot of blending. All right. Oh, Christine, my stamping press, it's almost like a dry erase marker. I just got it branded from Tailored Expressions because I liked the rainbow. And it's just how I apply even pressure when stamping with my Misty. All right. So we've got one stencil layer to go here. Just gonna do a little bit deeper here. Okay. Let's go ahead and wipe this guy off. And then we've got one final stencil. Oh, oopsies. Goodness, having the worst luck with my washi tape that's holding my stencils down today. All right, so there is that third stencil. So let's finish up our final stencil here. Okay, so this one, I find the easiest thing to line up are those butterflies that you haven't colored in yet. to me, that's the best way to get everything, get the other parts of this stencil all in alignment. Okay, sorry. I got it a little out of alignment. Oh, I keep doing that. My goodness. There we go. Yeah, it seems we've had a little bit of YouTube issues today. They must be doing an update or something. Who knows? People being able to actually get to the page or the link. Seems. Okay. Joan, we just released the Rainbow Sentiments die cut pack. We've just kind of started the die cut ephemera sentiments. So Rainbows was released, I think, just in this last release we had. But we do have a foiled sentiments die cut ephemera pack that I used on my personal live this past weekend, and they come in golds and silvers. So I think those ones might be out of stock right now, but they will be, of course, I'm sure they're on reorder. So we're just waiting on a shipment of them. Yes, Carol, I agree. I love how quickly you can color in an image, and it looks like you took hours doing it with stencils, and you really didn't. It took just minutes for the most part. Okay. Hi, Lisa. Glad you could join us. No worries about being late. Of course, this will be available for replay when I end the live stream. This is Candy Violet. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention the color. This is probably my favorite shade in our purples. I love our purples. I'm not like actually the biggest purple fan, but I do love Pinkfresh purples. They're very refreshing, I guess, and I just love how they look, especially with our pinks. Okay, so we're almost ready for that final reveal because that was the final stencil. Let's get it wiped off here. All right. So I'm going to move some things real quick. And let's peel off this tape. I'll set it aside and use it later. Take a look at that. How beautiful is that? And in just a minute, we're going to put this guy back into my Misty and hold our breath, cross our fingers that it stamps okay. But pretty soon we're going to have that nice crisp black outline, the detail black, and it's going to make these pop even more. So as I mentioned, I'm going to just set aside my dirty stencils for now. When I end the live stream, I will clean them off more thoroughly with that same cloth that I've been using and just a few spritzes of rubbing alcohol on each stencil. And that buffs them clean, especially considering I use pinks and that deeper purple. It really helps get any residue off that might be left behind. Okay, so we're getting this shoved down into the corner because we know that's where we started with. And I think it's still lined. I have no way to know that it still lines up, but I haven't done anything to make me believe it wouldn't. So now we're going to go ahead and use our detail black. And I'm going to answer Lisa's question really quickly. So detail black is hybrid ink, meaning it's alcohol marker and watercolor friendly, but that also means that it needs time to dry. So when we're doing lives like this, and I actually often do this just when I'm creating stuff, not live as well. If you stamp detail black ink, you have to let it dry for a while. And depending upon your location, you may need to heat set it. So my preference actually is to stamp in a lighter shade of an ink that dries almost instantly like a dye ink. Do my ink blending because it's not going to smear, and then go ahead and stamp it again afterwards in the detail black. The honest truth, Lisa, is I also actually really like to stamp again after doing ink blending, especially if you're not heat embossing or something like that. If you're doing like a nice crisp stamped image, I actually really like to stamp again afterwards because I feel like the ink blending kind of dulls your stamped image a little bit. So I also prefer that method. So I don't have the magnets on the piece of cardstock because my it would get in the way of my stamp because I have this big red rubber stamp that's the full size of the panel. Okay, here we go. This could be a disaster, or it could work perfectly. We'll find out in a second. If not, no matter what, we have plenty of time that I can redo this, and maybe I just won't restamp it. But let's look. It's perfect. All right, I'm gonna do it one more time. I know y'all will probably like, Leah, you're ridiculous, but I feel safe enough knowing that it's tucked down in that corner. I want to stamp it one more time just because I did such a soft impression there that I feel like just some of the areas need a little bit more black ink. So Michelle, I think I answered your question about stamping in gray first and then coming back with black. So okay, get that tucked down in the corner. All right, Leah, one more time. Okay. Okay, there is that. Okay, phew. Perfect. Ooh, not perfect right there. Okay, tap it down. And let's give that a nice, good push. There we go. All right, friends, and then look at how nice and crisp that is with that coloring underneath. So fun. Okay, so I am going to go ahead. I am going to clean my stamp off with you, friends. So I know that this part might be a little bit boring, but I don't like to leave detail black sitting on a stamp for too long. I like to get it cleaned off fairly quickly. So just to deal with me cleaning my stamp up here real quick. I'll probably even give it more of a clean when we're done, but I like to get that initial amount of ink off so it's not just sitting there drying. That is our detail black ink. It's our hybrid black ink that is both alcohol marker and watercolor friendly once it has dried. Keyword is you've got to make sure it's dry or it will smear. And I am just using a old toothbrush that I keep on my desk for this exact purpose. But I am going to probably keep my stamp here in the MISTI for now rather than put it away because I think I'm going to probably give it a deeper clean when all is said and done and really work on getting the rest of that detail black off. Because the one thing about all hybrid inks, not just detail black, but literally all hybrid inks, is they do leave behind a bit of residue. So I will clean it one more time, but I feel like I got a good initial clean there. And I will do the rest of it when the live stream is over. So you don't have to keep watching me scrub a stamp. Hi, Jeff. How are you today, friend? Okay. So we've got those done. Pardon me for a second. I'm just going to grab a quick drink of water. Okay, perfect. Sorry, I was feeling a little parched there. So let's go ahead and get these guys cut out with their one-piece die. We love the one-piece die at Pinkfresh. We know that sometimes people feel like they're a little hard to line up. But what we suggest, what we mention is just take a little extra time to get it nice and lined up. And if it's not like perfect, if the white's a little off in one area, it is handmade, not Hallmark. And no one that gets your card is going to even notice. So it doesn't bother me too much, even if the alignment goes a little bit off. But this is a smaller one, so I think that this one is relatively easy to line up. Yeah, I just use a generic microfiber or lint-free cloth that I found on Amazon ages ago. So I'm sure you can do a search there and find them there. All right, just running it through my Gemini real quick. I'm a big fan of the one-piece dies too. I love not having to take down 1,000 dies and trying to run them through my machine and make sure they stay taped down. Like, I find that to be cumbersome. So I'm a big fan of one-piece dies now. Does everything warrant a one-piece die? No. And we have plenty of sets that don't, but when they can, when it works or when it fits, we definitely choose to do it because we like the one-piece die too. All right, let's get this, gently take this away from its backing here so I don't tear any of them. Look at how beautiful that is, friends. Oh, I love this set so much. Love. Okay, I want to make sure I get all of the little chads out. I don't think there's any left in the die, but I do have some I need to get out of the branch there. Perfect. Yeah, look, even Krissa had a brand. So thanks, Krissa, for sharing that. Okay. And then let's go ahead and get the little inside pieces poked out of the branch here. All right. A couple more. Perfect. I don't think the butterflies have any of those. Nope, they sure don't. Okay. Very true. I agree with that too. You're much less likely to lose a one-piece die than one of those little bitty teeny beeny. Like, can you imagine like this little guy and a die all on its own? I would lose that thing in a heartbeat. It'd be stuck to the back of my Misty, never to be found ever again. Okay, so we are at the point, I think, where we're kind of probably just start doing some assembly. So I am going to share with you guys, I pre-cut some things so that you didn't just have to watch a bunch of boring die cutting, but I will bring it out here to show you so you know what I used anyway. So this is going to be my background. This is our diagonal stitched plaid slimline sized die. So our dies are sized, our largest slimline dies are sized at 3 5/8 by 8 5/8. But I actually went ahead and took the second die in our diagonal stitched rectangles from our slim set. It's the same as our slim stitched rectangles, so you could use either panel, and cut it down to make it a little bit smaller because I am wanting to create a card that is 3.5 by 8.5 rather than 4 by 9. So so I used that inner one to cut this panel down. And then I also have already pre-cut the slim stitched scallop rectangle frame. I'm just using the inner frame that you see on the larger die. So I've pre-cut it from gold pearl paper and also a couple layers from white cardstock, and I stacked and adhered them to make it a little bit more sturdy and also to give it a little bit of added dimension when I go to put the card together. And then finally, I actually have not decided if I'm going to use these or not, but I did put them in the supply list and I did cut them out just in case. This is our Leafy branch die. I have cut it from some champagne colored cardstock that I just have had in my stash from Michael's, but I do have to make a confession to Dee because I see that she's here. And I think on one of my Instagram posts a while back, she asked me what glitter paper I use. And I said it was champagne colored from Michael's. And while that's technically true, it's also a little bit of a lie. So back in the day, they carried Martha Stewart Crafts glitter paper. And I bought like a huge thing of it. And it was champagne colored. They don't carry that brand anymore. And now they carry just their own Recollections. And I ordered a pack of the champagne color from that, and it's like brown. So their new version in Recollections is called Ivory. So D, it is ivory colored glitter paper from Michael's, not champagne colored. And I found this out the hard way. So sorry, I had to take over. I had to take over the live to do that little bit of a confession for D. Okay, so we've got our little leafy branches. We've got our beautiful leaf that I'm probably going to trim here and there and then tuck back in so that it fits within the slimline panel. And then finally, I have to make a decision about what color I want my card base to be. So I have pre-cut and folded a purple card base, a pink card base, and then just a gray, because I wasn't sure if I felt like a pink and a purple card base would be too much. So right now we're going to test that out. Okay, so let's take a look. Yeah, Dee, I agree. Thank goodness you didn't buy it. So there's the pink, which is nice. The card does already have quite a bit of pink on it. That is kind of the main ink color. So then let's take a look at it on purple. And honestly, that's nice too. That doesn't bug me. Okay. And then finally, let's take a look at it on gray. And I do not like it on gray. I maybe didn't pick the right gray because I don't love it. So we're going with pink or purple. And I think, friends, I'm going to pick purple because it's the color that I use the least of. So there is my decision-making skills on that. Okay, so go ahead. I'm going to start building my card up here. So let's go ahead and get our diagonal stitched plaid background done. Jeff, if I don't pre-cut a lot of stuff, I go way over in time because I'm such a slow crafter. Heather can do it all, and she still hits the 1 hour mark. I do not, however. So we just go with Leah preps as much as she can for the stuff that would be really boring for you to watch. So the continuous die cutting and stacking and layering, I do that, 1, to save time because I'm slow, and 2, to keep you all from being bored to death. All right, so there we go. Perfect. Okay. Start building this guy up here. Someone had mentioned that I needed a sticky mat, and I avoid those things like the plague. And the reason being is I have a lot of hair. My husband has a bit of hair, and I have 2 dogs. And so sticky mats and things like that pretty much just end up being like a gross mess. So I have avoided those sticky mats like a plague, to be honest. I make do without one because they just get kind of dusty and dirty and pet hairy in my house. Okay. So there, perfect. So then we know that this guy's going to go on here, but I do need to see where I'm going to need to make some trims on the branch because the branch does not fit fully. Although I don't know if I totally mind the branch kind of hanging off the edges, to be honest. So I may just end up leaving it. Huh, yeah, I might. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip this over. We're gonna use a little bit of liquid glue to glue this down. Carissa, I get that. I feel like vacation, because you're getting a chance to like relax and just hang and just chill, that like your creative mojo comes back. So I do typically try to remember to bring something with me on most vacations, unless I know there's going to be like a ton of activity and it's not going to be worth it. But like I'll bring it, like we go to Montana for a little over a week in July, and I'll definitely be bringing some crafty stuff with me there because while we're spending most of our time at a cabin on a lake, we'll definitely have downtime. Okay, so before I fully glue this side down, I am going to add, first things first, I'm going to fluff my leaves a little bit just to give them a little bit of added dimension. I've decided my word for this is fluff because I know how to say it well and I can spell it. And then we don't get into the other word that shall not be named anymore, spelling of it. So I'm going to fluff my leaves and flowers here. Oh, huh. Yeah, Joan, I could probably do that. Gosh, I feel like it might be a little boring some days. I'll have to do it on a day where that's exciting, like where I'm doing photography and I'm creating marketing pieces and maybe creating projects on the same day. But a lot of days it's just computer work. So, but yeah, I could probably do that one day. Okay, so now I am going to tuck this under, and now I'm going to get that down and just hold it in place there for a minute. Oh, that's right. We did do that craft hour. That's a little bit behind the scenes as well. It's a little bit more about, the start of Pinkfresh and stuff, but definitely that is definitely a good one to watch. All right, I'm just digging for some little foam dots here because I am just going to put foam dots on the back of a couple of these leaves just to give them a little bit of added dimension and also making sure that they stay adhered down to the card for sure. All right, and let's put one underneath that guy. And we're going to go ahead and put one under here. One more. Yes, Pam, you get to listen to Heather and I think a lot on lives. We talk to ourselves. It's a whole thing. It's a whole vibe. All right. So we have that done. Now I have to decide which butterflies I want to use. If not all of them, maybe just some, but I am going to give them a little dimension here. Okay. Of course, we got these guys. Before I do this, I am going to probably pick out a sentiment real quick as well. So I'm planning on using sentiment from our new Rainbow Sentiments die cut ephemera pack. There's a lot of different colored sentiments in here, so we're just going to flip through them. And I'll grab one if I feel like it would look good. There's that, just because that feels a little bit too monochromatic. So I'm going to say no to that one. I like the little bit of added blue in there with the congrats or even the oh happy day. So that's a possibility. Not any of those. Ooh, I do like the you got this too. That's a good possibility, a really good possibility. I'm just gonna flip through the rest of these real quick. No, I don't like that. It's too big. You know, I'm really feeling the blue sentiments, to be honest, just because I feel like there's so much pink and purple going on, and blue complements that perfectly, and it will really set those sentiments apart. So interesting. So I just lost the chat. I'm getting a thing that says chat disconnected. Please wait while we reconnect you. So not completely sure what's going on with that. Hopefully we're still live here. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna stick with it here, friends. And it does seem like YouTube is having some issues, but it looks like maybe the chat popped back up. So hopefully we're good to go. Okay. You know what? I think I'm going to go with You Got This. I think I really love how that turned out. Yeah, chat just keeps going back in and out, friends. So I think we're just going to have to kind of deal with that. It looks like YouTube's having, normally for us, it's always Facebook that is kind of a pain, but looks like today is the day for YouTube to be having some issues. But yay, Heather just confirmed with me. She sent me a little quick message that I am still live. So that's good. I'm glad to know that we're still live. Debbie, you can absolutely foil on acetate. You just have to make sure it's heat resistant acetate. Okay. So let's go ahead and put our sentiment down. And then we're going to add our butterflies here and there. And I think I'm just going to use those ones. I think this little guy, I'm not going to use him. Okay. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue in the center of these butterflies. This one just more on the edge. Okay. All right, good. I think we're kind of back to normal. So we just had a little bump in the road there. Okay, finally, I'm going to decide if I want to add a few of these, and I think I do, but I'm going to end up trimming them down a little bit, I think. All right, let's see here. Maybe about right here. I'm going to trim this guy down and just kind of tuck him in. Yeah, that's going to be really pretty. Okay, let's just put a little glue on the back here. The poor little lonely butterfly. That poor little lonely butterfly will look beautiful in the photo because it will, I'll put it on something. Okay, kind of just get that tucked in there. And then this guy, I'm going to round out this piece that I cut off here. And I think I may have to pull up this one. I'm just going to tuck up into here a little bit. And I think my husband is just arriving home. So if my little pups get a little wily, that's why. They should calm down fairly quickly. And then, so hopefully if Sadie goes a little bit wild, she will calm down. Okay, I like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to pop up this little piece right here and just add some glue to it. And then tuck it back under here and then rearrange it. Okay. that on top. This is always the fussy part. Okay, so that is done. So I think all I have left to do is I'm going to add a couple of jewels. I wasn't really sure what jewels I wanted to use today. So let's see here. I think I'm going to end up actually using our sparkling champagne pearls. Thanks, guys. And pearls everywhere here, friends. I think what I'm going to do, because I've got quite a bit going on this card, is I am just going to add cute little middles to my butterflies to help them stand out, since this is quite it's not monochromatic, but it's pretty darn close. And so I think to help my butterflies stick out a little bit, that is what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing on this guy. Thank you, guys. I'm glad you're enjoying this card. I appreciate it. All right. Can't get these little tiny guys to flip over. Here we go. All right. So there's that one. And then finally, this little guy. And just think of all of the different color combos you can do with this card. You don't have to do these colors that I picked. If you wanted to make it more masculine, you could pick or neutral, of course, as well. You could pick totally different colors. Mine is very pink and purpley, but I mean, you could make it more springy with corals and yellows and aquas. There's lots of great ideas. I am really struggling with these small ones, getting them to flip over for me. Stop. There we go. Gracious. I still got to get one more, but I think I have one right there. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Let's just get these glued down. I'm going to put these away so I don't run the risk of knocking pearls all over my desk. And let's get these pearls adhered down. Let's land this ship. Ship? Whatever that term is. I got a little too much glue there, but that's okay. It will dry clear when all is said and done. Okay. Well, that is my card for the day. Thanks for joining me. All right. I am going to get my camera flipped around and we will end this. Heather will pick a winner. You guys can be done with your day, get along with your day. All right. Thanks so much for joining me today, friends. Thank you so much. I appreciate your kind comments on my card. I enjoyed how it turned out today. It's pretty. This camera's terrible. So hopefully you've got some fun ideas for creating a card with your version, with your botanicals and butterflies, or I mean, this could easily be adapted with lots of our products. So, and different colors, lots of really fun options. Okay, it looks like we have a winner. Congratulations to Deborah Canizaro. I probably butchered that, but you have won the $15 gift card code today. So congratulations. All you have to do to claim that is email me. My email is leah@pinkfreshstudio.com. There's no H on the end of my name. So just LEA@pinkfreshstudio.com. Give me about 2 to 3 days to answer you. All right, friends, that is everything that I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me. I believe we're live again on Thursday on Facebook Live with Heather. And I think those are our 2 lives this week, but of course, we send out emails for all of our different lives. So be sure to check there, or we put the information in our Instagram stories. Thank you so much for joining us today, friends, and we will see you next time. Bye.